Okay, so we're gonna review this debate that CityCrusher had with this YouTuber whose name I can't remember, and Chu had a
Alistair.
debate with them as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
His name is
and
Alistair.
we're just gonna
Yeah.
offer. All right, so okay, cool, and we're gonna offer feedbacks and criticisms and just critique. And the thing is, we're just gonna just offer some psychological analysis as well of the people in the debate. So I'm ready to start when you are.
I'm gonna take the back seat here for most of this video because seeing as I'm getting the critique, I think it's best if I just listen and learn.
Yeah.
So do we need an introduction to who Alistair is? Or shall we just play?
Just some. Seems to be so. He seems to be aware of what MGTOW is. He seems to be involved in the community, and he labels himself as an egalitarian, which I think is a bit of a dead end. But we'll get on with that.
We'll discover why.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome to my tiny corner of the internet. So I heard you wanted to do an interview.
Are you sure?
No, it's just
I can hear.
I had the stream muted. My bad.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine. I can hear it.
No, you have your own YouTube channel, CityCrusher, right? So did you want to go on and
yeah, well, it's a lot smaller than yours. You might be tiny, but then that makes me minuscule.
It's all right, man. You know. That's kind of the funny part is because, like, when I started using the tagline, you know, welcome to my tiny corner of the internet, like, you know, that's as soon as I started doing that for the intro of my videos, my channel started growing a bit faster than I, you know, probably was ever comfortable with, but it just ended up happening anyways. So yeah, well, welcome to the stream. I'm glad we can kind of sit together and do a collaboration stream on, you know, different topics, right? You identify as a, like an MRA, a men's rights activist, I suppose, or... What would you consider yourself? Because I don't want to straw man your political positions. I usually try to give everybody a fair shot and talk to everybody fairly. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Oh, you there? Or is it my audio cutting?
I see. I'm hearing like echoes, or I don't know what's going on with the audio here.
Oh, there is echoes. I don't know if is it coming from, is it on my stream or is it in the Discord client? Do you have like the stream open on your side? Anybody in the chat, you know, on my channel, is there echoes persistent here, or how's that going for you guys? Can you hear the audio just fine?
I think most of this is just technical difficulties, so I think we should skip it a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know when it ends exactly though, but yeah. It doesn't last that long. It does start.
Yeah, it's a pretty short one.
What you guys think?
Okay, is things normalized now, or?
I can't hear any echoes myself.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you have echoes on your side. So if you have the stream chat that I posted in the announcements on one of your web browsers.
Yeah, should I just take it here? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Everybody on my side of the chat can hear you just fine, you know.
Okay, yes, I had your stream open, and as we were talking, it must have been recording.
Yeah, I suspected that. That's what I was saying. It's like, you just got to mute like that. Is because, like, what I do is I open up, like, the stream chat on my end to test the audio through the browser, but I always mute it because you'll just hear, like, infinite echoes.
Right,
So,
well, I had yours open, and that's what happened. In any event, yeah, I'm definitely an MRA.
Okay.
And can I ask you something? I like your choice of icon, Griffin.
Okay. Yeah.
Why did you choose that, if you don't mind me asking?
I chose the character like 3 years ago. I was pretty much a relative nobody. I had like maybe 200, 500 subs at max for like a couple of years, you know, after I first started my YouTube channel. It's like, I liked the design of the character. I thought his, you know, character design was, you know, pretty. So I just kind of went with it. And then of course that ended up, you know, being contentious. That's been, you know, both a positive and a negative. You know, the contentious aspect makes it polarizing.
So Griffith is a villain in Berserk, and he's very narcissistic and he's very evil. Right, but people have avatars of Darth Vader and other villains. You shouldn't have to explain yourself over this.
Yes.
To be honest, so I just wanted to point that out. It's like, so.
Right.
Yeah. So like I've got like a Mr. Pinky. You get like just because I've got Mr. Pink and got Mr. Pink as my avatar doesn't mean I'm a bank robber.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So
Yes.
yeah,
But also, probably some people have just completely disregarded my opinion because of the character, right? But I chose it because I like the character
Oh.
design, not because I, condone like whatever the character's actions are. It's because at the end of the day, the character is a villain, So,
Of course.
so now I'm just kind of stuck with him. I've kind of
I have to
pivoted
say
to more stuff.
though, the one you've chosen is a little more masculine looking, but Gropin is the type of character that you took his head off and put him on a woman's body. You wouldn't know any different,
No, yeah. Those kinds of men have always existed throughout history, so to speak. Some people call them
Yes.
by shonen men or something like that, pretty boys, whatever, right? They've always existed throughout history, So, like, somebody, like, when somebody says, like, they put, like, a woman's face on, like, a man's body, it's like, that's just, like, it's been a stereotype. It's more common in East Asian cultures. It used to be more common in Western European cultures, but kind of got, I guess, like, nerfed off probably by the 18th century. If you're kind of familiar with that, like the Great Male Renunciation, where they kind of got rid of more of the kind of like aesthetic beauty of like male figures. So it's not as common these days. But yeah. So.
Well, anyway, I remember you did a video, one of your oldest videos, where you were talking about what was it? Well, I put it in the.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
You want to talk about the gender role video that I talked about, like all the
yes, because you made a very good point. Was that you said, well, if it's not performative, or I should say, if it's not
make an
a construct,
insight. Can you pause?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to make an insight. The term gender roles is a sort of a trick term as well, because the term gender roles actually makes the term gender neutral. Because the problem is not gender roles. The problem is that there are oppressive gender roles. There are problems with the gender roles, but the problem is men are actually just being oppressed outright,
Yes.
right? Because the feminists use it's a gender roles dodge. They do that a lot. Oh no, it's just there's bad gender roles. They either blame men for the gender roles, or they just come from nowhere, from the phantom mists.
Yeah,
I just want to make that.
I noticed the term gender roles just kind of makes you fall asleep. It's complex to explain to people. So
Yes.
yes.
it wouldn't be formal. And you caught Matt Walsh was in there. You were showing him, and he was asking what it is to be a man, and they would have all these performative criteria, right?
Yeah.
So I think that was a great argument. Now, if I was to try to counter you, I would say if it was strictly a construct, then there would be no quote unquote gender there, because it would be construct, right? Because the women.
Pause. So right away, CityCrusher is going to a quagmire that allows people to argue nonsense. So gender is a social construct. It's a redundant term. It's best not to argue it one way or another, because what does it actually mean? It's a social construct, or it's a construct. It's meaningless.
It's very
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's just very open-ended to interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes.
biology and culture are like yin and yang. Biology affects culture, and culture affects biology. So that's what he should have said there, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, culture. Well, the thing is, culture comes from human minds, human psychology. Human minds are biological, right? It's not either or. It's a very strange false dichotomy. It's a non-argument. But yeah. Okay, let's carry on.
You're cutting out a little bit. Are you still there? Is the stream active, you guys? The audio is better. Okay, that's good to hear.
Okay, so did you want me to repeat any of that, or?
Oh no, yeah, you can go ahead. Like, I know you were trying to make a point about like the performative nature of like manhood. I've talked about that for a little while now. I've kind of touched it in my later videos as well. Even that's kind of like how I started kind of tapping into the kind of like discontentment young men have where they're being insulted by the boomer generation about like the cost of living crisis, right? I've kind of tapped into a little bit of that with my existing audience, but a lot of the points I've kind of tapped into this.
Pause.
Yes.
So I'm gonna talk about this issue here a little bit. What I think is actually going on. So you talk about the boomer generation insulting the younger generation, right? Holding up to ridiculous standards, the cost of living crisis, blah blah blah, which just basically means not being able to get status, because generational wealth is not really a thing so much anymore. It's still there, but it's not. So lots of people people benefit from it less because most of it goes to women. So if a middle class guy or an upper middle class guy has a family, that's going to the woman. He's not really passing it down to his kids anymore, right? Intergenerational wealth is sort of thing. People used to live in extended families and used to pass the inheritance down more. It's not such a common thing. The working class don't barely do it,
Yes.
right? Wealth disappears. Women consume it all, in my opinion.
Yes.
So, and again, the generational wealth problem, the cost of living crisis is just men not being able to get status. That's what it actually is. But
yes.
Just kind of like, and I'm not the only one who's done it. If you like watch Millennial Steam, I like his channel, Philosophical Gamers. Like, a lot of them kind of tap into that young male discontentment you kind of see because of the cost of living crisis, right? That kind of performative notion where, simultaneously there's expectations for men to live up to a particular standard, but because of the cost of living crisis, it's been made virtually impossible, to live up these standards, to be a breadwinner, to be a homeowner and stuff like that. It's because right now, less than 12% of people like young men are both simultaneously married and own their own home, right? And you can't deny the fact that these markers of manhood don't go into the judgment of one's character within society, right? You are kind of considered a lesser man for not living up to these stereotypes, especially when it comes to the older generations. These things that were far more attainable within these generations themselves. So that's caused a tremendous amount of rift and discontentment in young men, particularly because of these metrics.
Well, breadwinner just means servant. That's the thing, though. So that's why not being able to.
I think CityCrusher has been too blunt here. To be honest, it's like he's like a Marxist traveling back to the medieval era, trying to explain Marxist theory to a medieval knight. Right? Yeah. So he just jumps straight into breadwinner just means servant, basically, and that doesn't really like. The breadwinner, here's a better way to explain it. The breadwinner role is a role where the man works and hands all his resources over to a woman, basically. It's economic exploitation. That's a more scientific way of putting it as well.
And you can't just throw the frog in hot water. You have to slowly boil it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CityCrusher had to be more persuasive in making this point.
Yes.
Become a breadwinner. It's all about earning a high income.
Yes.
It also shows you that women are about the money. They're not about the man. They're not about you as a person. If they were, because after all, a man doesn't care what a woman does for a living, unless it's servicing other men. But other than that, he doesn't care.
He doesn't seem to be disagreeing with CityCrusher here. That's the thing. So that it's possible this guy, he might actually be receptive to some of our ideas. It's how you present them, right? So,
yes,
I'm not saying beat around the bush and use euphemisms, but but this can backfire sometimes. But anyway, let's carry on.
Yes,
the income she brings in. He doesn't care the prestige of her job. He wants her. She doesn't really want him.
Myron Gaines has talked a little bit about that. A lot of the red pill circles have talked about that. The kind of if you want to call it economic hypergamy, it's been talked about ad infinitum for 10 years at this point. So I don't disagree with you. That's becoming harder to actually fill. One of the unique points I've made on this channel is that while I acknowledge that from a lot of the the manosphere spaces, the MGTOW types and stuff like that, a lot of people reference Mouse Utopia in my comment section. Is this kind of economic hypergamy is kind of in a sort of sense either getting amplified or just dying, is because the fact is the income to be a self-sufficient person nowadays is just so stupidly high that this is kind of just falling apart in its own unique way.
Pause. So what's happening is men are getting pushed out of the job market to make way for women. All the white collar jobs, middle class jobs, women are getting a lion's share of that. So men are suffering structural economic violence.
Yes.
So they're getting, and also as a side effect, they're getting deselected more and more. So it's not a self-correcting problem. And I don't know why he says the term economic hypergamy. There's just hypergamy. Economic hypergamy is a redundant term.
I think that's a very good way of framing it.
Yeah.
The thing is, the reason why it's a men's rights issue is because this imbalance between the genders is what leads to the attack of women onto men. Since women don't have one of our pro-male collectives, Shield for Men, just did a very recent video where he touched on this, where he basically say, women just aren't interested in men, but that leads to these.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's talking about women not being interested in men. So instead of pointing direct, like female teachers downmarking boys in schools, women pushing men out of work via DEI, right? Okay, he has to go. Oh, women are just not interested in men,
So
right? It's better to give direct examples of females being privileged and oppressing men, right? Then you can talk about how interested women are in men.
yeah,
Right,
this is
because at the end of the day, it's not just like an interest that women have in men. That there is a high level. There's a political movement called feminism. It has high levels of narcissism and hostility towards men. And in my opinion, women are either two groups. Women are either indifferent or they're hostile. And the indifferent women don't do anything for men, and the hostile ones do. And that's the dynamics at play in society. So it's better to try and explain that first.
exactly. Just jumping to how women are interested in men is what gets us pigeonholed as incels who are angry about not getting laid, which a lot of our detractors do. So
But the thing is, even people, you can argue about it because like women are not interested in men. What does that mean exactly? Because how do you define it, right? They go, oh, this woman does date a man, or this woman does like this man. Like you have to argue against their personal anecdotal experience as well. So it's just another potential quagmire that needs to be avoided. But
yes,
yeah, let's carry on.
Stripping like UN women, right? UN women actually work to strip men of their rights. You look at the UK, there's no staring laws. There's a no staring law in the UK transit. So if you're a guy and if you just happen to look at a woman's way and she doesn't like the way you looked at her, she can call up the cops and get you in trouble.
See, I remember a lot of the Me Too feminism from like a decade ago. I remember that atmosphere. This was kind of like what gave rise to like the anti-SJW circles, like why like anti-feminism was like such a huge talking point. Like, just a little bit like under.
Pause.
Yes.
Can I add
So
something?
the meat. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
So the thing is, you can't. If you give these people an inch, they'll take a mile. Is the thing. So, like in terms of giving them leeway to plant false talking points. So you got to be like really rigid and firm in your stance. You gotta make sure there's no weaknesses in what you're saying.
Which
yes, and here's the thing is he's allowing you to link Me Too to the anti-SJW people, which whatever that means. There's no such thing as SJW, so there's no such thing as anti-SJW. It's a right-wing talking point, and the anti-SJWs have never fought against Me Too. Right, so I don't know why he brought that up. So Me Too is still alive and well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for example, the T app is a doxing app. It's like women who date men, and they can dox and drop information on the men. They can make up any story they want, right? And it's, and they'll show his face and they'll show his address. I've known people doxed on the T app, by the way. It's a real world problem. The app is allowed to stay up blatantly, even though it's a harassment app. So you was about to say something.
Yeah, it's just bringing up Me Too and letting this guy just go on about anti-SJWs. It's just very degrading. It's like making our issue into like a cookie fringe group obsession.
It's actually letting right-wing politics hijack it. That's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's right-wing talking points. But anyway, let's carry on.
Years ago, you had Sargon of Akkad, you had Undoomed, like everybody and their mother was effectively making fun of feminism for this, is because it was like hashtag Me Too at the height of that sort of stuff, right?
Making fun of it was a waste of time because this is serious business. Losing your rights is serious business.
Yeah,
and I'm not accusing you of anything, Griffin, or just the Alistair. I'm just saying,
Alistair works.
There's so many guys who cope by coming in, and Sargon of Akkad was a perfect example. He would laugh at his I want to say abusers, but his oppressors.
Sure.
And the thing is, it doesn't work. It's, for one thing, it shows you
oppressor.
It's the only time a guy will laugh at his oppressor is when it's his identity as a man's being attacked. He's being attacked.
Yeah.
So he's being a bit too blunt here yet again. I think he should have slowly built towards this instead. Like first, laid out the foundation.
Yes.
And he can sort of explain it better. So basically, we've been laughing at feminists for over 10 years now on the internet, and it's led to a dead end. It's not getting us anywhere, right? So, because I've noticed there's a specific point, and then he goes on to generalities a bit too much. Like, going into generalities, you have to do it, but you make your specific point about a specific issue, then go on to generalities. I know it sounds like nitpicking, but it allows the other side to get it gash. And like, they might not even consciously get it gash, because if you're being general, you're talking things on a general level, that they might get confused and like move the issue onto other stuff as well. So, yeah.
As his race, he takes it very seriously and he fights back.
Yeah.
Or his creed or his religion or anything like that.
Well,
But
that's
if
why
he's
I'm kind
attacked,
of more of like
yeah, go ahead.
gender egalitarian, right? Is because the fact is, like, a lot of the things you're kind of complaining about, like what you're talking about, is more or less the kind of expectation that men are, needed to perform, right? Okay, because like at the end of the day, like when it comes to society as a whole, right, and most people would deny it.
Or you see, there's a conflation of different issues. Like he's talking about gender roles again. You see how it's insidious, the whole concept of like gender roles bad. That's how you address the problems. So he's talking about Me Too. So he's moving the conversation back to like, this is still back to the fact that men are expected to perform. No, they're nothing to do with each other whatsoever. Me Too is based on female on male hostility, right? And rumor spreading and stalking and harassment and doxing. That's what it's based on. And there's been countless examples of Me Too in action. Goes on all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
When it comes to, what builds up society, it's the disposability of young men, right? That's just a fact of life. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing goes to. But the thing about it is, like, there's a reason in a pragmatic
cause. So the disposability of young men builds up society. That's a non sequitur. The disposability of young men actually holds society back, right? Because if men were protected and nurtured and supported, they could contribute so much more to society.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like he's trying. I'm not saying he's trying to imply that, because I don't know what his motives are, but it does come across he's trying to imply that it's a necessary evil. Okay. It's not. It's a wasteful, irrational evil.
Exactly.
Like just a quick example. So, internet search engines. So, feminists took over internet search engines. Men are basically booted out of tech. So they've just gone to shit. It's like that's just one example of a societal function that's just made worse by kicking out men. Yes.
The entertainment industry's got wrecked. Games have got wrecked, right? By men getting kicked out. Like there was that fucking was it an airplane? There's a helicopter crash because it was like diversity female pilots. And the thing is, men coped as well. So there's this female. It was a helicopter pilot, and she was incompetent, and she was narcissistic, and she wasn't listening to her instructor, and she crashed the plane and killed herself and killed other people as well. And there was lots of coping. That's what happens when you have an incompetent woman, and then she'd be like humiliated. It's like we as men, we're getting pushed out and shoved out of a high status position, being a helicopter pilot, to make way for a talentless woman. Right, and it's putting us in danger, but the men just cope, going, silly woman, got herself killed, Typical male coping.
Yes, it's so humiliating. Just
yes.
For that, and why young
because
men
a lot of us lack self-awareness. That's why we don't have the self-awareness to be humiliated by this.
Well, I think it's not just self-awareness. I think they don't want to show weakness either, so they've got to put on a strongman front as well. It's coping as well.
Yeah.
So let's carry on.
Being in this level of disposability is a dual-sided coin, if you know what I mean, right? By that same token, yes, young men are considered disposable, right? But they're also the backbone of civilization as well. Like everybody, as much as they would not like to admit it, society.
How's that a double-sided coin? So men and boys are considered disposable, but the backbone of society. That's a Tradcon talking point. It's a non sequitur. Black slaves were considered disposable, and they were the backbone of the southern states' economy, right? The slave economy. It's not saying anything.
Yes.
It's also like that. It's also like an oxymoron, because if they're the backbone and they're also expendable, you don't see how that's contradictory. Well,
no, not necessarily. If you dispose of the thing is, brutal systems of oppression can chew people up after using them and spitting them out. So it's not necessarily a contradiction in that regard, right? So, but yeah, it's.
Right.
But what he's saying is like, the point he's making is like, people don't understand how useful men are, and it's like it's basically saying they're not respected enough for their sacrifice. That's what he seems to be saying. But it's not saying anything. It's like society could be run far more rationally. People work distributed more evenly. People working overtime less, right? Probably some sort of Marxist system. I hate to fucking say it, but whatever, right? It can be run far more rationally, and we've got billionaires and trillionaires sucking up all the wealth. We've got techno-fascism on the rise, which I'm going to have to do videos about. Okay, and you've got people like working themselves all the time for pittance as well. It's a really badly organised system that's completely irrational and wasteful.
Yeah, it shows
So,
you.
Yeah, I
but
couldn't
that's a
agree
massive.
more.
It
Yeah.
shows you that slave societies are run due to narcissism, not really due to efficiency.
Social, not just nice, social dominance orientated people run them, right? That's the mindsets. It's like social dominance for the sake of it. That's what a lot of feminism actually is as well. Because I think feminism's politicized narcissism, right? So let's carry on.
Deep down does see men as like young men as like the backbone of civilization. They're the ones who carry the load, right? So it's a double-sided coin, if you know what I mean. What's up, Ghosted?
Well, guys put the wrong things ahead, right? So guys will be concerned with getting together with the girl. So dating will be their big, worry, right? But in the meantime, something like I said, the rights being stripped away should be first and foremost, right? So,
Wait,
so
women's
for example,
rights?
in India, I have a video. I have many videos, but this one considered was concerned with India, where
Okay.
the woman accused her husband of some kind of crime. I forget what it was. I'd have to revisit.
Okay.
And the police put his
Domestic
whole
violence.
family in behind bars. His whole family. And they showed one of his female relatives with a
What's up,
baby,
Gaylord?
and she was him when her baby were in prison. Now that's the most extreme I've ever seen. Is
Yeah,
India.
it's ridiculous. Yeah,
You know.
the thing is like India. So like, here's the kind of thing. If you're familiar with India and South Korea and like the kind of like gender division that exists in those countries, it's a whole different world compared to like Western European countries. Like, I'm not going to deny that's messed
See,
up.
he's obfuscating with that. Oh, the third world's different from the first world, or Southeast Asia is different from the West. It's obfuscation. So before Trevor talked about the anti-staring laws on the train, there's actually not technically anti-staring laws; they're anti-harassment laws, but they're used against staring. That even makes it even more creepy because they're not that specific. They're more vague than that. But anyway, CityCrusher talked about that, and he doesn't seem to remember because misandry actually doesn't register with the average guy. They might even like sort of agree with, oh, that's bad, and they just forget about it. It doesn't like sink in, right? So that anti-staring law in the West, if he remembered it, it would contradict what he was saying about how the West is different from India,
Yes.
right? We can't let people do that. Misandry is a worldwide phenomenon. So is feminism.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thing is like they're like the thing is if you see how like the men within those countries also act and also how their women act, it's like it's a whole different world. It's like night and day cultures between like European culture, American culture, and then like those cultures themselves particularly, right?
Well, I see the cultures are all the same. It's all anti-male, in one way or the other. South Korea is the only
There's a little more
one
nuance to that, in
formed
my opinion,
a
but I'll
proper
go back.
MRM. Oh, sorry, what's that, Griffin? I want to call you Griffin now. What's that, Alistair?
I do think there's a little bit more nuance than just saying like it's just straight up anti-male, is because the fact is like I consider myself like a gender egalitarian, right? I do think when it comes to like gender
Of course. So it's anti-male because women live longer lives. They do less work, but they do most of the consumer spending. They've got privileged access to the job market, informally and formally, by legal legislation and being like informally, socially better. Okay, male students are getting downmarked in schools. Baby boys can be circumcised. Okay, you got gendered policing in many countries as well now. Like you get extra punishment as a man if you commit a crime against a woman. Okay, right? There's lots of things. It's straight up direct oppression. Okay, it's oppression. what men are facing would be accepted as repression by sociologists if it was applied to any other group. Living shorter, harsher lives and having less rights, right? Okay, getting your money leached off you economically and given to another demographic, that is oppression in every sense of the word.
Yes.
Every sense of the word.
And Alistair appears to be just steering the conversation back to just using mild language at this situation. And
he seems to be like one of these people got, gee, it's bad that men are not appreciated. Like, gee, gender role sort of sucks. But he seems wary of any systematic analysis because men face structural violence. And it's calculated, intentional structural violence as well.
yes, people are weird
I couldn't have.
when they talk
I
about
couldn't have
men.
worded this better.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm just taking the back seat. Since I was a part of this video, I kind of just want to listen and learn.
Okay.
All right. Okay, let's carry on.
Personally, it's like I do think men and women kind of go through their own unique thing, right?
Look, if you want to
That's a
be a gender
platitude.
egalitarian, the thing is, you would have to strip women of their privilege. They have privileges over men. And so, I mean, you can't have it both ways. You know, that's
Okay.
they would fight you tooth and nail over that.
Pause. So he's being a bit too assertive here. It's unnecessary because he's not completely rejecting it. So
Yes.
I would have taken a bit more easy at this part, unless he
It's a bit like bring up, yeah, maybe give examples like the National Organisation of Women lobbying against shared parenting, trying to block equal gender roles, or the National Organisation of Women writing that those they're not national organisation. National Organisation wrote an open letter with 140 other feminist organisations about Johnny Depp as well. They dogpiled him. Give examples like that. So you need to remember examples and anchor points, and you need to repeat them as much as possible.
Yeah, this is the thing. Alistair considers himself a gender egalitarian, so you got to hold him to the questions. Why are feminists eroding gender equality, just outright destroying
Yes.
it? Yes.
Yes.
What privileges would you like to basically, stop women from having that they have over men? Like, I'm not going to deny the whole false allegation thing. Like, that's 100%, but that's more of a cultural thing, right? And that culture, the culture of the 2010s.
That's nonsense.
Right?
False allegations is a systematic legal problem, and there's more to things than just false allegations. The fact he's so blind to it, like DEI or affirmative action, right? It's like in South Africa they gave better educational places and better jobs to white people, right? So affirmative action in education in the workplace is gender apartheid against men. It's systematic structural violence against men that destroys their lives. Okay, so it's not cultural. Like you shut down the culture of it's cultural thing by giving institutional systematic examples.
Yes. So
yeah.
DI never goes the other way. I even remember example of a male police officer who was disbarred because he started questioning. Well, there's all these women who are just taking up the police department now. It's like, you can't question gender equality the other way.
So, well, it's not gender equality the other way because women taking jobs from men they don't earn is not gender equality, basically.
Yes. But men can't adopt the framing to their advantage. Yes. So
I know where you're kind of coming from. I can kind of see the angle you're coming from. I was in the 2010s. I remember Me Too. I remember Mattress Girl. Like, I remember all these kinds of crazy feminist back.
So you see how hostile Trevor's being right there.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. It comes off as really aggro.
Yes.
I mean,
so anyway, let's keep on.
Right. That
also, can I say something? He shouldn't be reducing it to biology, even if it's true, because that can be used against him.
And it leads to pointless arguments and a quagmire as well. Like if it's so, like I do think the thing is that there is male and female natures, but female nature is actually not that different from male nature because women have got a social dominance instinct, right? Okay. And it can play out in many different ways, and it's very complicated. And you don't want to get bogged down to an argument whether it's female nature or not, or if all women like that, or most women like that, because you can prove that there's a feminist movement and it's got loads of women in it, right? Even if it's not, we all believe that a majority of women, even if you don't identify as feminists, have a feminist belief system, right? But discounting that, a large minority, 40% of women are like identify as feminists. Depending on country, sometimes it's 60, sometimes it's 40, right? It all depends. That it is a provable problem. That can't be argued against, right? So instead of arguing against biology, you point to real concrete problems. The fact that feminists are trying to close down female prisons, right? Have do off model domestic violence that stigmatizes men. Have feminist organisations that pump out false statistics as well, which is actually scholastic violence. Okay, those are real concrete problems that should be focused on. Anyway, let's carry on.
Cultural thing is because there's like the implicit expectation, like, that, we've heard of the double standards. I've talked about the double standards on this, channel, like, where we talk about like.
So the civil rights movement, was that cultural?
I mean, it's cultural.
Keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's saying that way too aggressively yet again. He should have just calmly said. He should explain his talking points calmly.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it comes off as overly emotional and stuff, and that deters people.
It's hostile.
Yes.
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 Legal. So.
Okay. It's just that I've never heard someone describe the civil rights movement as a cultural thing.
I mean, it is. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say it's cultural. I don't know.
Okay,
Anybody
that's
in the
cool.
chat disagree with that one?
The thing is, everything's a political movement's going to be cultural. Don't know why this is. It's a bad word to use. It's a political movement, but it stems from the culture. Ideas are cultural, right?
Yeah,
So
culture.
yes,
This is
this
a
is weird.
Yeah.
It's a weird non-argument. Yes.
You were saying something, True? True?
Oh, I was just saying this isn't a hill to die on. Like, because it is sort of cultural. I think Alistair made a better point there.
It's a definition. It's arguing semantics. That's a problem. So it's bogging the conversation down. So let's carry on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I've just never heard it described as such. Are you saying that the racism they suffered in the civil rights movement, that's strictly to American culture, or it's different in other cultures?
No, it's
so the other semantic thing is a problem. Now he's wanting to clarify over something that doesn't need clarifying, right? And it's obviously didn't mean that. Okay, when he said cultural, he didn't mean it's a specific American cultural thing. So he brought up the civil rights as an analogy as well. Trevor did as well, and they're arguing over it whether was the civil rights movement cultural. So they're arguing over an analogy that he brought up. Semantics. You see how confusing it is.
Yes.
He's making it into a quagmire. Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Cultural, right? Somebody can be racist, but not necessarily, in part like, being racist through the legal system. They can also be culturally racist by just excluding.
But I would say racism is kind of ingrained. It's very natural. Like you find it in every culture.
Okay, right. So why did he even say that? Because that could potentially lead to a nature versus nurture debate, right? It's like what he said is true. There's always going to be a certain subset of the human population with negative instincts, and that's where racism comes from, in my opinion. Okay, but this is creating another quagmire argument: nature versus nurture, semantics, blah blah blah. He's not getting his points across.
I think it's just bad optics, even if it's true.
Because to a layperson, it can almost sound like CityCrusher's defending racism. It's like
or you could have some detractors who are bad faith. They could screen cap that and just play that out of context.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Like
sure. And
women's boss.
Yes.
We don't have the leeway here. We're fighting an uphill battle. So
yeah,
I think we're going to be very careful with how we frame things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hostility to men is universal as well.
Okay. So is it like a biological thing too?
Yeah, psychological, biological, psychological, I would say.
That's pretty
Because
depressing.
actually
If you
there's-
consider like all women to be kind of
Women
like naturally
gain
hostile
nothing
towards
from being
men.
hostile to men. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Officer.
I do think it's a bit depressing if you consider like women's hostility towards men, like in your own kind of view, to be a little bit. I mean, that sounds almost like a biological fatalist argument. So it's like, so what's your solution here? If like women are naturally inclined to hate men, it's like like what's the thesis exactly? Because I think that's pretty depressing.
Well, it's depressing. I mean, the fact that we're going to die someday is also depressing. People tend
it's a philosophical debate now, right? On nihilism and whether it's depressing or not. Okay, like he goes, we're all gonna die one day. That's depressing. It's a pointless philosophical debate. Right
Yeah,
here,
it's derailing
Yeah.
from the original point. Sorry, go on, Kat.
There's no anchor to this discussion.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
deal with it. And
Okay.
for men, you really have to just, once you know the truth, I mean, what can you say? You can fight for your rights. You can try and strip women of their privileges over us. And here's a good privilege.
Okay, go for it.
Why women, for example,
Can you pause?
Yeah.
He sounded really arrogant when he said that. I'm not trying to be offensive here. It's just it came off that way,
Right.
even if it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's carry on.
back in the 1970s, there were women reporters who fought get into men's locker rooms, which
Okay.
was 100% shouldn't have been allowed. And
Yeah, we can
they
have a
got
discussion
what they
about that kind of
wanted
double standard.
back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, and men could not do the same. I mean, the double
right.
standard, that's a privilege. They can
You're right.
invade our spaces. They are legally allowed to have women-only spaces. Men are
Yeah,
not.
I could agree with you on that because they used to
So
have gentlemen's
that
clubs.
is
I've
a
talked with a couple of
privilege.
people
Can you
about that.
pause?
So there's agreement here. So what? Trevor, the CityCrusher doesn't need to raise his voice about this.
Yeah, and
Yes.
he's beginning to rage out here, and he's making himself look like hostile and aggro to
Yes.
the average onlooker.
Yes.
Yes. This is the thing is it's fitting all the stereotypes, the false stereotypes as angry MRA, right? Like, I can understand why he gets pissed off because I get pissed off as well. Like we put up with so much fucking gaslighting from people, right? But we've got to be careful about how we come across. We have to learn a bit of patience.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
Let's
I was
carry
saying
on.
about there's like no leeway, and I do
Yes.
sympathise with why Trevor got so angry here, but still, we gotta be very careful.
I would. Yes.
Yes.
So I agree with you on that one. Like, having women only spaces, exist at the same time, but at the same time, it's like, we've had a decline on male only spaces like gentlemen's clubs. Like, I
And we've
could
got,
agree with
and
you on
also
that.
we've got to point out current oppression as well. Like in the college wrestling, they make men wrestle women, right?
Yes.
Okay, that is fucking disgusting because that's just designed to humiliate men and put them in the place. Because if you wrestle the women, if you beat them, you get criticised. If you go easy on them and you lose, you get laughed at. So it's a double bind. And like these same women will narcissistically rage out if their spaces get invaded, right, by
Yes.
trans. Okay,
Yes.
but they want to take our spaces away from us. It's just about respect. Because like I read years ago, one of the traits of being a lower caste is as a lower caste you can't put up barriers and have privacy against the higher caste. So that's what men are suffering right now. Men are a lower caste.
Yes.
That's aptly worded.
Yes.
I was just saying that's aptly worded.
Right.
Standard.
It's not just a decline, it's an erasure. Women work to get rid of it.
No, I remember with the Boy Scouts and like the Girl Scouts debacle, right? They wanted women in Boy Scouts, but they didn't want to do the reverse. Like that was something I even remember.
But it's
10
not
years
really a
ago, I thought it was ironic.
debacle. That's not a debacle, though.
Okay,
You really
this is because this is I'm going to point out CityCrusher's biggest weakness, and he actually does this in a lot of his reply videos, right? So he's nitpicking language there and
Yes.
arguing with him over it, and
Yes.
he shouldn't do, especially in a live conversation. He shouldn't do that. It looks really bad. Like,
Yes. Yes.
so you got to be careful about that. You just got to let certain things pass because you want to focus on getting your points across. Like, your main point is to basically present the facts, present concrete examples of males being oppressed by women and try and let the person stew on it, and then if they're getting a bit testy with you, you get a bit testy back. You've got to reflect the energy, because you may not agree with what this guy's saying, but he's not being testy right now, right? So he's not reflecting negative. He's not reflecting it back on him. He's being hostile to him for no reason.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Consider the civil rights movement a debacle. You wouldn't describe it like that. You would say, hey, it's injustice. Separate drinking fountains. It's an injustice. And that's proper framing, really.
See, the thing is that like I'm more about like setting up a system that's consistent and fair for both sides. I'm not using as much charged language as you, and you might have a bone to pick with me on that one. That's totally fine, right?
Well, my language is
using my language because I try to be fair to both sides.
Right. He's doing a lot of the both sidism stuff. He's doing that. There's no both sidism. Like, gee, we got to be fair against the KKK and the civil rights protesters. I'm for both sides. No. There's no both sides here. There's only one group being oppressed. Women are not being oppressed in any sense of the word whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
That's got to be pointed out. Yes.
Like, how do you even break this whole both sides framing? It's like you just got to explain that what irredeemable actions feminists keep doing. So
and that women don't face one single systematic institutional discrimination.
Yes,
that's what you need to point out. Men do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rights movement. No one expects that from any other group. Like the civil rights movement, they did say, "Hey, you black guys got to be good to these white guys. You got to think like egalitarians. You got to consider both sides." No, they were saying, "Look, the white men are oppressors. We're fighting our oppressors."
Well, the reason I consider both sides is because like I don't necessarily.
Pause.
He's raising his voice here yet again. It makes him seem really hostile and aggro, and I think it's just ineffective.
I was about
pointless
because
he's not. Because he's not. Because his opponent isn't raising his voice, so it just makes him. It makes Trevor look like really triggered.
Yes, and do you remember when a Shield for Men did his debate, and he was actually starting to swear at Voland and getting angry.
Yes.
Right. So all the other side has to do is stay calm and maybe be a bit sarcastic, and they win.
Yes.
Because you got to discount the people that agree with one side or the other. The neutral people, they're going to think, he doesn't seem reasonable. This other guy does.
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, debate's not about who's right. It's about who can zing the other person the best and who has the best charisma.
Yes.
And how you present yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yes, very much. Debates are a game of optics, for the most part.
Yeah. The thing is, you don't have to hit zingers and stuff like that. If you're calm and reasonable, if you come across as calm and reasonable and fair, that's the way you can win as well. You don't even necessarily have to hit zingers. It depends. It's all based on context. But if you come across as reasonable and calm, you can win people over.
Yes.
Fully disregard feminism.
You can't be a lay down though either. You can't be a lay down at the same time. You've got to be assertive. I'll give you an example of a debate. I don't like both sides in this debate, right? But there was the Sam Harris versus Jordan Peterson, and I think Sam Harris crushed Jordan Peterson because he was fair but it was firm. He was rash. He came across as rational. He didn't let Peterson get up gash whatsoever, so he won that debate. So anyway, let's carry on.
Right.
That's probably going to be our major.
Feminism is a hate movement.
Debate about that. That's fine too.
Feminism is a hate movement. It always has been.
So, okay, so all right, feminism is a hate movement. It always has been. It's been too blunt there. It's true. And there's a time for where you disrupt narratives. You want to be transgressive and you say stuff like that, right? But there's other times when it's one on debate. You've got to be more reasonable, right?
Yes.
Like Marxists, like you watch how Marxists. I watch how Marxists operate. They have a lot of live debates with people. They like some of them will talk to right wingers and other people who don't agree with them, and they don't just jump in with parroting Marxist slogans and doing purity tests, right? They talk with them calmly. Right? You're a degenerate bourgeoisie, capitalist swine, imperialist pig supporting the genocide of the West. They don't speak like that, do they? Because it'd be off-putting.
The thing is, it's like I said earlier. You got to slowly let the water boil, and if you make the person to rage out at the end, that's when you like use the bluntness as like a finisher to bear out more rage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It just sounds like you can say, like, I understand this is your view of the world, but here's all the ways that it's wrong, or here's one or two ways that it's wrong. Yes.
Yes.
No, I disagree on that. No, there's some
Well, yeah, really, so what was
women had
the
to deal
feather
with, and, you
campaign
know,
then?
feminism is partially right on that one.
Really, like what feather
well,
campaign?
Yes.
So
here's-
he's jumping about. He's all over the place, like in terms of topics, and
Yes.
it does look weak in my opinion.
Yes, and he's also speaking over him and not letting him finish his point. I know there's probably going to be a lag due to on Discord, but you've got to let the other person finish his point so you can counter it instead of shouting over it as well. And the thing is, you only start shouting over people if they don't let you speak. Then you don't. Again, if you show patience, and if they respect your patience, you stay patient. If they don't respect your patience, then you speak over them. Then, right?
Yeah, something I actually tactically noticed is letting them finish your point gives you a little bit of time to think over yours, so you can make it sound better.
Yes. Yes, and
It's-
also they can't play the "oh you're interrupting me" card because like let's say they say something stupid and you're speaking over them all the time. They can just go, "Oh yeah, I didn't mean to say that. I was just flustered because he was speaking over me." They can resort back to that as well. So you're giving them another cop out. So you got to be careful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shipping young men to war. Well, the women got to stay home and comfortable. Well, how is that? How is that not
You
hate?
know that stereotype? Like I used to believe that stereotype.
That's not a
back when I was, like, a
stereotype.
younger
That
guy.
happened.
Like, the thing is you know that
That's not a
kind of
stereotype. That happened.
understanding is a profoundly upper middle class, like, you know, stereotype where women didn't have to work, right? Throughout the most of the world, women have had to work in the household.
The one
Domestic
feather
chores aren't
campaign
one
and
thing.
shit guys to die. How is that not
pause.
hate?
Yes.
So now he's really raging out, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's making us look very emotional.
Yeah.
And this isn't like the type of because we need charisma to like win over the opposite side.
Yeah. It's
Sorry,
win over the
not the
third
opposite
party.
side. Win over the third party. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes.
Yes.
Just a minute. I got to take care of something.
Okay. Yeah, no, like that's the kind of thing. You've had a division of labor between men and women. It's a profoundly middle class concept that women didn't have to work. So I mean, you know, I'll wait for you to get back on that one.
What he's saying is technically true, but he's so it's like they're not hearing each other. He's talking about the white feather, and he's talking about division of labour. How fact that he's basically I think what he's trying to say is like the bourgeoisie concept of the housewife is a historical anomaly. Basically, it's because like most women in the past did have to work, right? So the middle class has only started having housewives. It's rise of the middle class. And later, the working class had housewives because they were copying the bourgeoisie, the upper classes, who could afford to do it.
Yes.
So, like women of luxury, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's.
Well, they didn't have to go to war. When they were shipping them those young fellas off to die, they got to stay home. They didn't have to go to war. They were never conscripted.
Okay. Yeah, well, here's also the same thing.
How
Okay,
is that
I
not
read
hate
articles on this like a little while ago, right? While men were technically more disposable within these contexts, right? If you go back like 5
You said
He paused
something.
for a second. There's not much more to see here because he sort of just like goes backwards and forwards around topics and like.
There's one more point I want to watch though. Can you go back 5 seconds, Alex?
Okay.
There's a point I want to watch.
All right.
He was starting it with it right.
Fine.
5 seconds. No, play. I try to watch this point.
Okay. Yeah, well, here's also the same thing.
How
Okay,
is that
I
not
read
hate
articles on this like a little while ago, right? While men were technically more disposable within these contexts, right? If you go back like 500 years ago to like medieval Europe, where fathers are actually like selling their daughters to other men to like, you know, make friendships and alliances with kingdoms, right? You know, that's also the privilege that came with being a man as well as being disposable. It was a double-sided coin, right? There were downsides
No,
and
there
also
was no double
positives
standards.
of
No
patriarchy.
way.
Like, I don't mean to be real.
These women had to marry somebody back in those days. How do you think people retired in the past before
Pause.
pension?
So, CityCrusher conceded that guy's false point. Okay, he's made a mistake there. So, first of all, he's talking about noble families arranging marriages. That's a small minority. Most people weren't noble families. Most people were peasants. And second of all, royal families arranged marriages for men as well, males as well. They didn't have a choice. Like Frederick the Great is an example. He was gay and he was married off to a woman.
Yes.
Okay, so he the fact is making it gender specific. And Frederick the Great wasn't 500 years ago, by the way, and that was in the 18th century. So yeah, so if you don't debunk a false point, you're tacitly accepting it, even if you're not consciously doing so. It'll be seen as a tacit acceptance, right?
Yes.
So yeah. Anyway, let's jump to when CityCrusher jumps in. You're part of the debate.
Sure.
I mean, for my first time, I actually was quite happy with how it went. I reckon I got a few good talking points in, and I reckon I sounded like reasonable enough.
So
Yes.
it's
And I've got to give this Griffith guy some credit, right? Okay, because with a lot of people, CityCrusher behaving like that, they'll go, "Oh, we're not talking to you either. You're a bunch of nutters," and they'll ignore both of you, right? They'll use that as a pretext not to talk to you anymore. Okay, so I've got to give him credit for that, even though I don't agree with a lot of what he's saying, and his framing's very bad. I think he has a out of date understanding on male issues. At least he's giving people a platform, so I've got to give him credit on that. See, here's the thing: the Promo Collective, we are the most advanced, cutting edge male issues theorists. Basically, we've got the most correct ideology because we're the only ones that seems to be continually evolving our ideology. All the other ideologies are at dead ends; they're not evolving.
I know,
right?
It's weird.
It's at 1 hour and 13 minutes and 5 seconds is when it starts exactly.
Yes, I've just moved to that time. Yes, so we'll just play it from here.
He's more on like the MRA side of the aisle, so to like fully steelman his position. He's not really just red pill. What's up, Drew?
Yo, Drew, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry that got heated. I can better explain some of our talking points.
Yeah, go for it, man.
So basically, sorry, I gotta be quiet and careful with my wording. I got family here and stuff, so.
Okay.
Is that all good?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah, so basically, more or less, women have shown an ability to like compartmentalize their sexuality. They can bypass good looks for status.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see it all the time. For example, you look at pause please. You know, Harvey.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I do start out quite wimpy and weak, but I gradually get better as I warm up.
So I think
get the hang of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically introducing yourself, really. So
yeah.
Yes.
Weinstein. He's not good looking at all. He's like an ugly troglodyte looking male.
Yes.
Yet he's got the status, so he gets.
That was a very dangerous example you used. To be honest, Harvey Weinstein. If you use him as an example, you have to point out right away that loads of women were writing him love letters where he was still famous.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot for me to learn. I'm gonna mostly sit back here because I just want to hear your critiques.
Yes. So there's certain. Can I just give advice? There's certain figures like Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. We shouldn't not use them in examples, but we should be careful in using them in examples. Right? We should think twice. So it'll set a lot of people off, and they will resort to thought-terminating cliches in retaliation.
Yes.
So, just a heads up. If anyone wants to deliver a critique in the comments section, please do, because I want to learn.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that fact is because the fact is here's kind of the thing interesting about that. Yeah, like women will compartmentalize their sexuality to basically go for economic reasons or status reasons. What's up? So like I can't disagree with you on that one. Like they will do that. I mean that's like essentially in nature like the profession of prostitution anyway. Like so okay, I agree.
I want to pause. Here's a concept that a lot of people don't get. When we say like female compartmentalizing sexuality, it means they literally can be attracted to a man. They can flirt with them. They can have sex with them. Right? They like them as well, but they'll still bypass them because they're low status. Yes. That's the thing. And here's another thing as well. A woman can like a man fully, have an ongoing. I think narcissistic women do this a lot. So a woman can like a man fully, be attracted to him, get along with him, have a good relationship he's high status, and then she could end it anyway because women could get relationships so easily. They're interchangeable.
Yes.
It's part of this social dominant instinct. So anyway, let's carry on.
There's actually studies that demonstrate that married men work more. That's because they go for status, and they know that status is.
There's a mistake right away. Okay, married men work more hours. Married women work less hours. Married women do most of the consumer spending. Therefore, men are handing their money over to women. That's the informal oppression that men face under marriage. And there's informal oppression and there's formal oppression.
Yeah, you're
There's social
completely right.
expectations. There's social expectations, and there's codified legal expectations or bureaucratic expectations that enforce misandry as well.
You're completely right. I'm gonna take this in and learn
Yeah,
for next time.
You got to like try to explain it. You got to think: do these people know what we're talking about? Do they understand the talking points? And you got to assume they don't. So you got to explain it fully as much as possible. You got to act like you're explaining it to the beginner each time.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Of it, the relationship.
Status is a large component if it's a stand-in for something else, right? So if a woman like will marry like a man that's like not attractive but for purely status, yeah, they will have to work harder, is because like a lot of the times that is a common
not just
arrangement.
It's not just a component, like a heavy component. It's the primary component. That's primarily what they go for.
Like in generally, like women will like compartmentalize like most of the time their sexuality for status. Like,
so
So I actually think I made a good decision there because I rather than just letting him get away with anything, I actually intercepted and brought forth our talking point.
Yes.
Yes.
So I've noticed it's a very standard cope with these people because they used it's the gold digger, which is actually a redundant term. It's gold digging woman. It's not. It's this hypergamous behaviour is standard in almost all women. Like, and when I say almost all women, I'm talking about 99%. Yeah, and like so I've noticed as well. So there's women who still socialise with lower status men, and they'll still get along with them, but they'll still have a high status man for the relationship, right? It's like, and then you got hypergamous women who have nothing at all to do with lower status men at all. They're just really rude and aggressive towards them, right? And they shun them completely. But both groups of women are still hypergamous.
Yeah.
Hypergamy is innate to female nature. In my opinion, hypergamy seems to be innate to as women as men liking boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing: here's another thing as well. Here's the other thing as well. The more freedom women have, the more hypergamous they actually are. Women are actually more hypergamous than ever.
Yes.
like most of the time.
Yes.
Okay. I will fundamentally disagree with, is because the fact is, yeah, while they'll do that, they're not with that man is because they find them attractive because of their status. It's they're doing it is because it's pragmatically going to benefit them. It's kind of like the whole money thing.
It's not pragmatic though. It's not pragmatic. That's another problem as well. Hypergamy is not pragmatic. So like a woman finds a nice middle class man on her level, and she likes him. He finds him physically attractive, likes how he smells. He has good intimacy with him. She's gonna have a nice life, but she goes for a high status man she's not attracted to, right? And lots of women seem to make this choice. So it's not like an exception. It's like no, it's the choice of these women. It's a standard default choice of these women. It seems to be innate. It's so common, and he's trying to use the he doesn't love him routine. Okay,
Yeah,
still
good point.
associating with him.
I'll make sure to intercept these things more next time.
Yeah.
Right.
Why are there so many deselected good-looking men
Would say
that are
again?
low status?
Well,
There are so many low status.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of fumbled this a little bit. I reckon there's better talking points I could have made there,
Yes.
but it wasn't a disaster.
Here's another one. Here's another one you need to have to have ready to use. Use Elon Musk. The fact that he's impregnated, like he's got at least 11 kids or something like that. They don't know for sure. He's probably got more. He's impregnated multiple women, right? And like I wouldn't say his face. Let's forget his face. His face is average looking. I wouldn't say he's ugly. He's just an average nerdy looking guy. But his body's absolutely atrocious. Really bad looking body, and he's bred multiple women. Bred them. So they use it's just gold digging women, but that's who these men are getting to reproduce with. These successful men, multiple women. It's these trillionaires and billionaires as well.
Exactly.
So and it leads directly to capitalism. So like Elon Musk, a trillionaire sucking up all the wealth, all these trillionaires, and they're sucking up wealth. Who is sucking up the wealth from? Men. So they end up in crappy, dead-end, working-class jobs. So therefore, these men can't get women, attract women to life. There's a direct connection to what women select for, and how it shapes society. Anyway, let's carry on.
He's like a good-looking.
I'm gonna make a counter argument to your point about the status thing. So like a woman can go for a man that's high on the status totem pole, if you want to call it that, right? But then you'll hear those same men, like when those women go bang the pool boy, right? And they don't need status to do that. They will literally.
That's a porn trope, by the way. That women bang the pool boy. That's a porn trope. Yeah, and it's also the pool boy. Now here's another thing as well. So I'm explaining another dynamic that I've observed with women. Okay. So women who are not in relationships and looking for relationships, they won't mess around with good-looking boys, young men in late teens and early 20s, right? But if they settle down and they've got a relationship and it's already established, then they'll start messing around with them. Maybe. And I'm not even necessarily talking about having sex. Then they'll flirt with them. Lots of these women do a lot of flirting, they don't lead anywhere, right? Okay. So the point being is it doesn't mean anything. Women, they seem to think, these women find these men attractive, therefore they'll go with them. No, women are actually having less dates and having less sex than ever.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Pool boy, because he's attractive, and that's why I kind of consider it more of a looks thing than just purely a status thing.
Yeah, but we're talking about long-term relationships here. What do women go for in the terms of long-term relationships? Which is what men
like those
want.
bedrooms with those kinds of relationships are typically dead. Like people that do it purely for status don't have, they're not intimate. You know that, right? They're dead bedrooms.
Yeah, but if men wanted sex, why do they see relationships? They could just go to prostitutes.
Right. So the point you have to make here, the point you're focused on too much on what men want. It doesn't matter what men want. Men don't want to pander to women to win women over. They're willing to do it to win women over. It's not the same thing. So it's women that dictate the terms, right? So it's like, so we should be asking, why are women doing this? Yeah, because it's like,
You're completely right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say again?
If being an incel is just about sex, why don't men just go for prostitutes? So it's clearly not about that. It's about long-term relationships, and they go long-term relationships. Women go for status.
Men have gone for prostitutes. It goes both ways. Sometimes men want long-term relationships. Sometimes they.
Yes.
So one thing I did right here is I actually anchored the discussion.
Yes.
Like I set an anchor to a topic, so I could, I had something to build off of.
Yes.
Yes. Something CityCrusher didn't do. CityCrusher was just flailing around across different topics.
Yes.
So.
Just want to have sex.
Yeah, but even like self-proclaimed incels can just go for prostitutes, but they don't.
Yeah, okay, because they want long-term relationships. I'm not here to strawman incels.
Yeah, but that's the point. What do women go for in terms of long-term relationships?
I mean, the thing is if you say it's purely about status, I'm going to basically kind of be abrasive here and say, like, that's more of a self-report of, like, a beta boxer who's just doing it to provide, right? If a woman only likes you for status or economic reasons, you're essentially just going to be a beta boxer with, like, a dead bedroom.
Yeah, but
the term beta box is a redundant term because that's the standard. It's like there's good men who pander to women in the right way, the alphas, and there's the betas who pander in the wrong way. It's like, no, they're both pandering.
Yes.
Yeah, like the good-looking professional lawyer, right, is getting a wife not because he's good-looking, it's because he's a professional lawyer. So again, it's a deselection process. Let's make this clear. It's a deselection process. If you don't meet the criteria, you get deselected.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, what Alistair is trying to say is, it's just individual men with their personal accounts saying that they're locked out of intimacy for not earning status.
No, I don't think he's saying that.
Right.
No, I don't think he's saying that. He's saying that it says, like, basically they're doing the wrong thing. They're beta buckers, and the fact that these women are hypergamous, they're gold diggers, and therefore they don't count. That's what he's basically trying to say.
So trying to make it as
It's the cope.
Yeah. Like trying to make it as, yeah.
He's trying to just basically say that's not all women like that, and it's gold digging women. Therefore, they're not. So that's not how hypergamy works. That's what he's trying to say. I think.
Yeah, I was pretty much what I was trying to get at. Yes.
Sorry, that was lag. Sorry.
Right.
Content with their sexless marriages. So that just proves the point that women go for status and men go for long-term relationships. Pause. Sorry.
Yes.
So by content here, I mean like they're accepting it. They're willing to put up with it.
Yes, they're not. Men are not. Men are actually not content with it. They're very bitter about it, but they put up with it. Actually, yes.
All right. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
My argument is not that they don't do that. It's the fact is that sure they'll do it, but that's to get money. It's not because they're universally attracted to the status or money.
Okay, but why do?
But they are attracted to the status and money. That's what they're going for. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Married men work more.
If you're going to the beta
Here's
box,
another thing. I've noticed another fallacy as well. Here's another fallacy as well. Who's to say that women can't cut off sex from men they enjoy having sex with just out of sadism?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? They've got what they want, and they just want to end the sex. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Just to torment.
I think I found a good anchor at the working more talking point. Because he couldn't really answer that. He sort of like gestalt around it during the discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Again, but here's a good question. Why do married women work less than married men? Why do single women work more than married women? Right?
Exactly.
Why do single men work the least? Yeah.
This is
you got
something
contrast.
From.
Yes, Actually, it's the core gender dynamics. It's the proof that women are the gender bourgeoisie. Actually.
Yes.
Yeah, if you're gonna go, you're kind of proving my point with like the whole beta boxer thing, right? If women do it for the status thing, like I said before, that's not biological. It's because they're pragmatically wanting resources, right? Of course, they're gonna work harder because they want resources.
It's not pragmatically wanting resources though. A lot of it's to wanting luxury spending and social dominance. Like women like getting loads of luxuries they don't need. That's social dominance. Right, it's status tickling by the women off the back of men. It's also social sadism as well.
Yeah, like the fashion industry is $1 billion industry. It's one of the most profitable industries on the planet. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, both of you.
Yes.
You see how that's kind of like a self-fulfilling thing?
Like two people than one, or a family than just one person.
House instead of an apartment costs more on rent.
No, but the thing is,
let True speak. I kind of want to keep this between me and him, so let me speak to him directly.
Hold up. I got to give him props here. He did tell people to not interrupt and gave me a chance to speak.
Yeah, he's not dogpiling you and abusing you like some streamers have done on Hangouts that I've seen done. Like there's people. Yeah. There's ones I've avoided because I just don't want to be dogpiled and The thing is, I wouldn't mind getting into a swearing match with someone, but I'm not going to get into a swearing match where they can just mute me and cuss me and speak over me, right? Okay, because if it's not a neutral platform, I'm only going there if they're respectful. Yeah.
Alistair does have a sense of fairness. You've got to credit him for that.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks. Sorry.
Can I be honest? If I met CityCrusher and someone like CityCrusher and I was debating him, I would actually get very pissed off and I'll get aggressive back. I'll be like, "Why are you being such an arsehole? Get fucked." Basically, there's a chance I'll do that. So you got to think how you come across. Like you got to have being testy and hostile's fine, but you got to have a pretext for it.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
I'll let you go.
The thing is that like with the status thing, right? You're kind of proving my point that if a woman only likes you for the status thing, I disagree that it's a biological thing. They're just doing it because who wouldn't want free money, and so women will do that if they can do that, right? And that's
biological, psychological. So basically, it's not biological. They're only doing it because they want money. That's like saying it's not biological. They only want it because they want food. Desire is biological. Greed is biological. Wanting something is biological. right?
The reason I dodged it in the debate is because I knew it could be used against me to make the biology argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beta boxers. That's what somebody who's just with you because they want the money, and then they're fucking the pool boy on the side. Like, so that's why I disagree with you.
Why are married men content with sexless marriages, and why do married men work more? Because
the same reason.
Good looks can land you a one night stand, but it's not going to get you a long term relationship, which is clearly what men are going for, is it?
It can initiate it.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's that those relationships are very unstable, and they get deselected sooner or later.
Yeah, the status thing, like,
The history of the two people. Sorry.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
there's studies to prove this. That's how hypergamy works.
Okay. I mean, economic hypergamy, as per your definition. So, like, I'm arguing that it's not biological. It's just people being pragmatic because they want resources. Like, isn't that just what a gold digger is at the end of the day? That, like, a lot of people talk about.
Yeah, but that's like a nonsense term because that's just generally what women go for. They go for status. And there's
Do you
studies
not
that prove
like that? Do you like that, or do you not like
it's a
that? I don't know
redundant term.
what side.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's a redundant term. Gold digger. She sounds like a 12-year-old boy. This girl.
I think it's a lady.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
People
Yes.
are on it all. I can't tell.
This is one of the things why I disagree fundamentally, like red pillars and MRS. Okay, is that like a biological thing? I've already argued why that's not the case. When women do that, they just want resources. It's not because they're attracted to you and they're gonna go fuck the pool boy. Like, because they're actually attracted to that. Like,
But I'm saying we all know this information. Like, this is all. This is all very.
Again, I want to point this out. All the data seems to show that less men are having sex than ever, and women are dating less than ever, and so that's driven by female demand, right? So this idea that it's the idea that if these women have to fuck someone, they have to date the Chad. No, they don't. Like, I notice a lot of women. I think from what I've observed, a lot of women just dip in every now and again, or they dip in very rarely, or they dip in for a limited amount of time, and a lot of women just go without. They don't care. So
Yes.
yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Basic information, but how do you feel about it? This guy, True, I want to know how he feels. Do you like it, or do you not like that women want people?
Because they go for people based on looks, just like men do.
I couldn't hear that.
Right. What you have to make clear. This is another thing as well. You have to make clear, because they seem to be thinking you're advocating for this. You have to make clear you're being descriptive, not proscriptive.
Oh, I think I do say that. I didn't say it like that, but I do sort of you have to say it like, and
you have to, and again, you have to contrast it with that women working less, because you have to contrast it. This is not fair on men. These expectations come from women, and it's women enforce these on men. And it's actually not just a social choice, because it's been codified by the legal system, by divorce as well, and child support. Right.
I'll learn from this.
Yeah, just get your.
You can't just say. Let me give you an example. So it seems like you're just saying something out the blue, and the reason why you should be saying it, you should be making it clear, because it's unfair on men. And you're pointing out the unfairness, right?
Yes.
So
You need a firmer grip on the reins of the debate, basically.
Yeah. Yes.
The guy was talking. I'm sorry.
So you're more or less just agreeing what I've said the entire time, like since the beginning of the stream.
Okay, so if married men work more and men want long-term relationships, that shows women go for status. Because if men were content with just sex, they would just go for prostitutes, but they don't. Men are content with long-term.
You have to work female deselection. You have to frame it like that. Female men do performative gender roles, gaining status, grinding, working more to avoid deselection. That's why. It's to avoid deselection. It's not men prefer it. It's they're avoiding deselection.
Yes.
That's the crux of the matter. Yes.
And that's because they want relationships.
Men can either want one-night stands or they can want long-term relationships. That's not like a uniquely male thing. Like, men can sometimes want long-term relationships.
Generally, they want
sometimes
long-term relationships. That's what men express.
Okay. So what's your thesis here when it comes
and
to
I think the point, all right, you can interject here. This is the point. It says, yes, there are men who have one-night stands or want one-night stands, but even high-stakes rock stars, the vast majority of them, even though they bang multiple groupies, they pick one woman and marry them and settle down.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's an example you can use.
Okay, let's assume that for the sake of the argument. Let's assume that
status.
So women exclusively only go for status, even though we've already talked about how
I didn't
that's
say
not the case.
exclusively though, did I?
Okay, so we agree on that part. Okay, so it's not purely about status.
No, he's doing semantic games there. So basically, so you said that's the primary motivator, status, and then he goes, "Oh no, all women just go for status." You go, "No, I didn't say that." And then he goes, "Oh, cool, you agree with me then?" You see that trick he did there?
Yes. So
I did, and I managed to just avoid it.
Sleight of
Yes.
hand there, yes.
Looks are a
Yes.
factor, but the primary factor is status.
That's not even true nowadays.
No. Okay, so I got experience on
Actually,
this, little homie.
Pause. I think
Yes.
I think I won that little part there because he just said nah, sort of, which
Yeah.
isn't a very good response.
Yeah. So I think, is that all of it then? Because there's a lot speaking over. It feels like a dead end from here.
There is a bit more.
We'll play a bit more. It's not the end, but
So
yeah.
Okay, first things first. Obviously,
Okay,
what we all need to do, like the solution here, is we all need to become pool boys. Okay, that's number one.
Exactly.
And second
So he's
thing,
just using humour there. It's a lame joke. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I actually call it out. I point out it's gallows humor.
Yeah, I don't think you needed to point that out, basically, to be honest. But okay. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm a
be
solution master.
a billionaire
just
by
gallows
night,
humor.
right?
This is
And
just
by
gallows
day,
humor.
the
And
pool.
so here's the thing. Like, if you think money matters, I want you to contemplate this. I lost my virginity to a married chick when I was unemployed and did not have a driver's
that
license.
doesn't prove anything. No, she's married. She's married. That actually proves a point. So he had a one night stand with her, and she's married to someone else. So he's actually proving a point, actually.
Yeah.
So and he's using personality anyway. Yeah.
So he's just confusing one night stands with long term relationships.
Yes. So
Yeah, that's the thing. So the status thing is just not purely true. If we can admit that, like, okay, so we can agree on that.
He said that though. Looks can let you a one night stand, but that's not what men are going for, is it? They're going for long term relationships.
Again, you're making a mistake. It's not what men are going for. It's what women are going for. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what status lands you.
I've known plenty of dudes who just go fuck around and they don't do relationships.
Or they can't just go for relationships even if... Okay. So...
I want to know how you know that. Citation needed.
So, with that being said... It's
okay, the thing is, men, he's going... the men who fuck around, they don't go for relationships. Press X to doubt. So men who can fuck around, they're still going to end up in relationships.
Yes.
Like I've never...
Yeah, exactly.
I've really known men who just purely fuck around, because the vast majority will end up in a relationship sooner or later. So...
Any, like, disagreements after that? If we both agree on that, true?
Why do married men work more?
Because the ones I described earlier are beta boxers did. It's just the depressing fact of reality.
Yes, but men want long-term relationships, and they go for status to like accomplish that.
A lot of times when it comes to those
again, I think you misspeak. They don't go for status; they earn status. You got to be clear with your right. They don't go for status. It's the women who go for status, men with status. The men earn status.
Yeah, absolutely.
So women select them. Yes.
Yes. Just incorrect language here. That's all.
Yes. Yeah.
Men, they go way above their league going for a super attractive woman, and on top of that, it's like the woman can barely tolerate
Now,
them.
here's another fallacy. That's the looks match fallacy he's just committed there. So he's saying, like, they're going out of the league for super attractive women. So I was good looking when I was younger, right? Okay, and I didn't get good looking women, right? It's nothing to do with the looks. There's no looks match. So first of all, here's another fallacy I've noticed as well. What women look like doesn't change what they're attracted to. So a woman can still be physically attracted to an average looking man if you like the smell of him. And a lot of attraction is pheromones anyway. You can actually find ugly looking people attractive if you like their smell. Okay? So a woman likes the smell of a man, he's average looking, right? He's not out of a league. It's the looks matching as well. It's not you as an outsider who decides who's out their league, right? It's the woman. Is that man out of a league? If she feels he's in his league, he's in his league. If she's out of his league, he's out of his league, right? So it's a look match fallacy. as well. And also, and men don't mind banging average-looking women. Like an average-looking high-status woman and a good-looking high-status woman. Well, what's the difference there? There's not. She's still just as unattainable to a low-status man.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Doesn't matter. Yes. Yeah.
Go for it anyways, and they end up becoming a beta boxer. That's how that goes.
Yeah, but if men are content with being quote-unquote beta boxers, then that just shows women go for
But they're not
status.
content with being beta boxes. And there's another thing you have to point out as well.
Yeah,
The men
yeah.
who are so-called quote-unquote beta boxes, they're in denial about it, right? Okay? So they're not content with being it. It's women who put them in that beta box role.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I swear to God,
it
the more
doesn't.
time
That's
I'm on
men.
the internet,
Arya,
I'm just
Arya, let me
am I
talk.
the only one
Arya.
that fucking goes out in public and fucking talks to women?
I'm gonna talk because I actually want to have a conversation.
Oh, yeah,
with this guy.
that's a loser comment. He's going, oh, yeah, he's doing the touch grass thing. I'm not the only one that goes outside and talks to women. Yeah, like, that's just such a loser comment to make. That really does annoy me. So he's like, you're an internet shut-in if you interact with real women. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Someone says that they get nowhere with women. I don't care. They don't get anywhere with women when they say that, because it's like when I talk to people who date with women, they admit there's lots of time wasting women. Right. Okay. And when you interact with women, you actually learn this stuff to be true as well. Jesus, it's like, yeah. Anyway,
Like his whole purpose is
that it?
There's a bit more.
There's a little bit more.
Right.
I think we should
Alright.
just finish it up to where he like says this is pointless or something.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's the
That
thing.
guy's
It's
a
pretty
furry
soon.
and he thinks, look at that.
True.
Jojo,
Like,
do you want to join in, because I'm kind of outnumbered here.
Like I don't want to do any dogpiling. I don't want to have to mute everybody in the chat. I want to have a one-on-one discussion with it, and this is not conducive. Like if everybody's going to talk over both me and True. Okay.
Is it alright
So
if
the thing-
Jojo joins in there? I'm not a very experienced.
Jojo can join in too, yeah, but I would like to keep this civilized so that not too many people are talking at the same time. You know, I'm gonna ask all my mods to mute everybody besides like Jojo, myself, and True. But the thing about it is that like I don't buy the whole like it's purely status, because like you just gave an example of that not being the case. Like we already agreed on.
But I already said that men go for long-term relationships and status is what gets you that. I said looks can land you a one-night stand, but that's not going to give you a stable relationship, is it? Which is exactly what we're saying.
It's not a stable relationship if you're just using status. Remember when I said earlier in the stream that like the reason why I don't like the red pill is because you have like a stereotype about women, and you said all men's value is predicated on this, you know, value that women supposedly have on this projection that you created, and so you end up attracting the women that you don't even like in the first place because you've predicated.
That's gaslighting. That's gaslighting. So you only attract bad women because you've got a negative mindset, even though you're not advocating for that. That's why you've got to make it clear that's not what you're advocating for in relationships. We see that gaslighting is doing there. You're negative because you attract negative women with your negative experiences. It's like, dude, if women set up these hypergamous barriers, right, it's on them. Like, oh, I'm going to be a nice guy, and I'm not going to go for gold digging women. I'm going to be positive. That's not going to get you women, is it? So what he's doing is gaslighting.
I was way too rusty there.
Yeah.
The accusation of being too negative is all too common when we're just describing reality. So
it's a just world fallacy as well. It's a very solipsistic thing. It's a just world fallacy. So there's systematic social factors beyond the man's control. Like literally, a lot of men is like you got to jump through the hoops. You got to be a provider. You got to be a breadwinner. You got to seek status, or you're going to die sexless and relationshipless, and you're going to end up committing suicide. Because that's what these men do, right? It damages the mental health being outside of relationships. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is.
Yes.
So anyway, let's carry on.
Okay,
on that metric.
Okay, so why do men pursue these like high status careers? Why do they go for doctors, professional musicians, pop stars? I think I actually make a good point here.
Lawyers a better example. Doctors and lawyers, because the rock stars are a bit more outlier, basically, right? So just doctors and lawyers. Those are two examples that are good enough. Because they're hard, demanding careers, and they're quite prestigious, and they got good. You can make a good living doing it, right? So those are the two best examples you can use, in my opinion.
Yes. You wanted to say something, True? I'll just carry on.
Calmness.
So you're going to tell me that's all because they want to get laid, like all the time? Like I'm not going to say those men don't exist.
Relationship. It's instinctive.
It's a relationship. So it's a relationship. So they go with high status careers to flex on a woman and have a long term relationship. No, I want to have a conversation with Drew. Guys, I don't want to fucking mute people. Like, that's kind of the thing. So, like, this is where I fundamentally disagree, is because the fact is it's all about status. It's like, I disagree with that. So men pursue status or, you know, going higher on the echelon, pursuing their dreams or passions just because they want to get laid. Like, I disagree with that fundamentally.
I disagree, because if you look at the studies that men want long-term relationships, they've expressed that. And if you look at the studies, married men work more. So that just goes
and again, it's again, you have to say it's what the women want. Women deselect the men who don't meet the demands.
Yes.
Right? And it's that's it.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
Oh, you that part of high.
Can I just put up criticism? Can I just point out criticism? You do have to be repetitive, but I think you do say the same thing over and over again a bit too much as well.
There isn't.
You can vary it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You have to vary it up a little bit and like just try and make your point by pointing other examples, right? So because you're saying the same thing over again a little bit too much.
Repetitiveness is an art form. Repetitiveness is an art form. You have to like know how to say the same concept in multiple ways. So people are still interested.
Yes,
I agree. Hypergamy is going for status.
Well, the thing is, I've already illustrated on why that's not actually, it's not necessarily, it's not true, but the thing is, that's just a beta boxing relationship. You just pursued status to attract the women that you didn't even like in the first place, and so you're effectively just,
don't you see how that the beta boxing label is just a categorization and rationalization? It's like, this is hypergamy. Oh yeah, but that's beta boxing. You see what I mean? It's a cope and deflection. Yes. Oh, it's the bad women who do that, not the good women. That's what he's basically saying.
Yeah, he wants to say there's these exceptional men who have to grind for status to earn a relationship, and then there's all these normal men who can just get relationships for themselves.
Even though there's less relationships ever.
Yes.
Yes.
An intimate relationship. So, like, where's the win in that? What's the win in taking that perspective? That you should pursue status to attract women who are only going to like you because of the resources that you can provide. Like, that's my entire
right. You can't just say but men consider it a win, because on look, it's been very confused. Because he's like, but men consider it a win. It makes it look like you're advocating for that. You should make it clear right away. It says no, we're not advocating for that. We're being descriptive, not proscriptive. We're explaining the dynamics at play, and we're explaining the dynamics at play that women enforce. So men do this to avoid deselection. That's what we have to make clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Should we finish up?
Yeah, I think yes. I think we've done all we should do.
Yeah, this has pretty much run its course. So.
Yes.
We're at an hour and 50 minutes now, so.
Yep. So this has just been a review of the debate of the debate. So I've said all I've got to say.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'll just stop it here now.
Peace out, everyone.
Right. Bye.